When Taehyung pushed you inside, you fell on the rough floor that left scratches at your knees. You hissed in pain, but soon your mind went blank when water started oozing out of every wall and from every single pore. Within few seconds, you were completely soaked in the water. Pressure was at the peak. Water was welling up from the floor as well, increasing the level at speed. He wants to kill me like this, you whispered helplessly, in fear, and shivered badly. You can't swim. Seeing the death so close, you started screaming for help. Level was rising up, and being trashed in cold water was numbing your mind and body. When you were about to faint and fell in the pool of icy cold water, someone barged in and hugged your petite figure. Taehyung's point of view. Jade's words flashed those horrible memories through my mind. My heart thumped at the thought of losing Jan. I opened the door and saw her trembling body drenched in water. Her shirt became see-through, and she was about to fall down, but I gathered her figure in my arms. I turned my head towards Jade. Leave, but I said leave. Thankfully, he left. I picked up Jan and took her to a room. I gently placed her on the bed and switched off the lights, seeing the urgency of changing her clothes. I came near her and removed the shirt that was mine. I could feel her body shivering due to cold. Why I always give you reason to hate me. She was half conscious and screamed when my breathing fanned her ear. I slowly covered her body with the duvet, trying to warm her. I wanted to engulf her in my arms, but I knew she would hate me more, so left her there. You opened your eyes, feeling someone's hand at your forehead. You looked at the person. She was a girl of about Taehyung's age. How are you feeling now, Yan? You tried to move. She helped you in sitting. Who are you? I am Emily, Jade's wife and Taehyung's best friend. You looked at your dress that was changed. I made you wear them. Let me bring something for you to eat. You nodded and she left. After 1 month, you were sitting in a lounge with Emily. She became a very good friend of yours. Jade also spent good time with you. Taehyung didn't hurt you after that incident, but he annoys you a lot. Jan, why don't you try to be friends with Taehyung? You scoffed. You cannot be friends with your kidnapper. Emily, he saved you, Jan. If he didn't had bring you here, Andrew's enemies must have killed you. Yeah, I know this way of help was scary. He kind of forced you. Why can't he be a little soft and caring? Emily, he wasn't always like this, Jan. In fact, he was so full of life. She sighed and then continued. Mr. Kim's wife died in an accident. Andrew was 8 years old. Mr. Kim married another woman, but Andrew didn't like that. And when she was 7 months pregnant, he pushed her from the stairs. She died after giving birth to Taehyung. Mr. Kim sent Andrew for psychological treatment, but his hatred grew more. One day he murdered his own father. Taehyung was 19 years old at that time. Andrew tried to kill him too, but he managed to escape. Then Andrew made it difficult for Taehyung to survive, and at last forced him to join the mafia world. Harsh realities make him like that, and to take revenge of his parents, he walked in that filthy world. What are you talking about, ladies? You silently whipped your tears and smiled at him. Our love life, crushes, boyfriends, you know. You laughed but froze when you saw Taehyung coming inside too. As usual, he was looking insanely handsome. For the first time, you noticed his eyes. They were empty. You could feel his loneliness and longing for parents, as you also suffered from that. We are leaving, guys. After bidding goodbyes, Jade and Emily left. You also went to your room. Next morning, you came to the kitchen and saw him placing breakfast on the table. Good morning, love. Don't call me that. He came near you, held your hand, and made you sit on the chair. You silently ate your food and were about to leave. He stopped you by holding your wrist. Let's watch a movie together, a romantic one. I don't want to. Leave me. But he jerked you a little, and you smashed to his chest. Before you could step back, he wrapped his arms around your waist. What is this nonsense, Taehyung? Let go. It's so peaceful. His deep voice never failed to twist your stomach, and his intoxicating scent was clouding your mind. Stay. Your heartbeat accelerated insanely. Forever. You felt his lips at your shoulder. You shuddered at his touch. Holding your waist, he sat you up. He stood in between your legs. You were wearing a pink floral dress that was still your thighs. You were shocked at his sudden action. He moved more closer. His hands were at your thighs, and he leaned to your face. You put your hands at his chest to stop him. Can't you forgive me? His voice was different. You felt the pain, regret, and love in his voice. His eyes were holding the sincerity. Can't you let me go? Even you tried to stop yourself, but it still came out. Can't you stay with me? That loneliness pricked your heart, but still, there is no reason. I love you, Jan. You gulped tears. You were confused at what you were feeling. His gaze was stuck at your lips. You could see what was coming. He removed your hands from his chest and smashed his. You closed your eyes, feeling his against yours. His one hand was at your neck, pressing you more into him. Your body heated up, and you let yourself float in the air. He wasn't expected that. His hand slipped, and you gasped at his burning touch. He took the advantage, devouring every mouth. He wasn't getting enough of you, but you were out of breath. You pushed him, and he parted away. You were breathing heavily with red face. He caressed your face and kissed your forehead. Da, my princess. You removed his hands, feeling embarrassed. He back hugged you when you tried to leave. Sleep with me. What? That doesn't mean. Ah! You shrieked when he picked you up at his shoulders like a rag doll. He laid you on the bed and settled himself beside you, holding you in his arms possessively. Sleep, he whispered while snuggling in your, sniffing your scent. I woke up an hour ago. How could I sleep again? You were getting annoyed by his acts that were racing your heart. Then simply don't, but let me grab some peaceful moments. You sighed and dropped all your efforts. His hand was at your waist, and then he put his leg at you, engaging you completely in himself. Days and nights were shifting, just like that. You started developing feelings for your own captor. It was beyond your control. His changed behavior, caring personality, and possessive nature was disturbing your emotions. You were happy with that change, but then another twist took place. You were in Taehyung's lap, hitting his chest playfully and giggling over something, when you both heard someone appearing with loud sound of heels on the marble. Taehyung's body tensed up seeing the person. You also turned around and saw a tall modern girl standing with high heels and black short dress that was hugging her toned body perfectly. She was viciously smiling at Taehyung, more like staring at him with sarcasm. At least you felt that. Veronica, he whispered, almost inaudible, but you heard him being so close to him. Hello, baby, long time no see. He stood up, standing you at your feet there. What are you doing here? He composed himself and asked in a quiet, harsh manner. You spared him a glance, trying to understand the relation between them. I am here to meet my love. I missed you, Taehyung. You again looked at Taehyung to ask that why she was calling him like that, but he was busy shooting daggers at Veronica. Who is she? Why is she here? You asked him, and Veronica examined you from head to toe, and a disgusted look flashed her face. Go to your room, Jean. His voice was orderly, and you didn't like that. Being a stubborn soul, you kept standing there. You can let this slave go now, since your queen is here now. Shut up and get out of here. He approached her and held her wrist to escort her. Don't tell that you are serious for this thing. Your eyes welled up at her disgusting looks. She is my woman, the one I love with all my heart. You felt a slab lifted from your heart. Now get your out of here. He gritted at Veronica, but she smirked devilishly. Did you tell her about the nights that we shared with each other? How close we. She was cut off and Taehyung gripped her face tightly. Get lost or I will rip this silicone face of yours. His voice even sent shivers down to your spine. He pushed her and she grabbed the door to save herself. She was also scared by his B-side, but soon masked that evil grin again. Be careful, dear. I am pregnant. Jiang gave the that piece of information, but you gasped when she continued, with your child.